On this week's episode of the Best of Johnston County podcast, our guest is Fred Foreman, the founder of the nonprofit One Blood Movement of Unity here in Johnston County, or better known as Coach Fred to most people. Coach Fred talks to us a little bit about all of the mentoring programs that he has for youth in the Johnston County community, largely around Clayton and Corinth holders, how he helps try to get this youth back on track. He does that through individual counseling as well as group counseling. We talked to him about some of the programs he's doing for the homeless, including a huge feed where he feeds all the homeless people and anybody I think they really would like to eat on Thanksgiving Day every year. And he's also helping children that are victims of bullying sort of get their spine back and be able to deal with it, and also help their parents advocate for the protection their kids need from the local schools. I think you will find this interesting and fascinating. Coach Fred is one of the tremendous community leaders in Johnston County. Was happy to have him on talking about One Blood, and I think you will find it interesting. So listen in.
Welcome to another episode of Best of Johnston County, brought to you by Breeden Law Office. Our host, Jonathan Breeden, an experienced family lawyer with a deep connection to the community, is ready to take you on a journey through the area that he has called home for over 20 years. Whether it's a deep dive into the love locals have for the county or unraveling the complexities of family law, Best of Johnston County presents an authentic slice of this unique community.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Best of Johnston County podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Breeden, and on today's episode, we have Fred Foreman, or better known as Coach Fred, of One Blood Movement of Unity in Clayton, North Carolina. He is going to talk to us a little bit about what his nonprofit does that helps the youth and the homeless in Johnston County, how you can get involved, and the things that he loves most about Johnston County. He's been here for most of his life, and he's just a great guy, and he's a connector and a community builder here in Johnston County, and I think you're going to enjoy what he has to say. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you to follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're seeing it, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, or any of the other Best of Johnston County podcast social media channels, so that you'll be made aware of future episodes of the Best of Johnston County. The Best of Johnston County comes out every single Monday and has now for over 20 months. So go back and listen to many of our previous episodes. We've had the vast majority of the county commissioners. We've had now Congressman Brad Knott. We've had local dentist Tim Sims. We've had a realtor Donald O'Meara. We've had Adrian O'Neill of the County Parks and Rec Department. Anybody that you might be interested in knowing about in Johnston County, a lot of them have already been on this podcast. So go back and listen to previous episodes and send us in people that you can email us or reach out to us at Best of Johnston County and let us know people you'd like to see as guests. We'll reach out to them and see if we can get them involved. Welcome, Coach Fred.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I got through my intro there. Tell the audience who you are and what you do.
Oh, I'm Coach Fred. I've been living in Clayton since primary school, so first grade. We grew up, if you ever heard of a place called Worthdale in Raleigh, North Carolina, is actually where I'm originally from. And then we moved to Clayton and migrated through Clayton, and I have actually went through all the schools of Clayton. I went to Clayton High School.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm originally from here, ran the streets of Main Street when it was dirt. when Square was it Square and what's the other one? The Horn Square, and then the other one was just straight, the dirt field. When the town of Clayton, where the offices are, was elementary school.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When Cooper was actual middle school.
Okay.
So I went through the original stuff of Clayton. So this stuff they got going right now it's not really original, but hey, we're gonna love it anyway.
Hey, it's a lot different. Clayton has changed a lot over the last few years. So where did you when you got out of high school, where did you go? Did you go to school after that? Did you start working?
So I went straight military right there.
You went military, okay.
I'm an Army man, yes indeed. And I went to college, and then I went back. I came back home and got married. Thank God, we got married. We've been married 23 years, going on 24. One wife, 4 children later. I'm still here in Johnston County. So yeah, it's been a while.
Man, well that's awesome. That's awesome. So when did you decide that you were going to start this sort of nonprofit One Blood Movement of Unity?
It was 2014 when the good Lord spoke. Everything happens in the shower for some odd reason. If it's a great idea, it's either on the toilet or the shower. So it was in the shower for me, and God had said, unite the people. I was thinking he was talking about my family, my wife's family, because we're good, but we just never did things together. And I'm a mentor. I've been mentoring youth for over 20, probably 24, 25 years. So when he said that, I was thinking just unite the families and bring people together in the families. And he was like, no, spirit really was heavy on me. So I just kept going, praying. Then he said, well, unite all cultures. I'm thinking it's just bring a bunch of different cultures in. We feed them because, food brings in people and unite them that way. And he said, no. I was like, where we going, God? What we got going? I need to know something. I'm one of the people that likes to move, and I got to move when I hear it. So he says, no, teach the people how to unite. And that's what got me. The only way you can teach something is bring it from the foundation. Foundation is what? Our youth. So we can get rid of the hate that's inside of them before it enters them. 10, 30, hopefully 20 years before, 30 years after now, we can actually push forward and stop hating one another and actually do something together. We have more light than we are different.
Okay, so you get this calling in 2014. Mm-hmm. What do you do next?
So 2014, we started feeding the homeless and the needy. That was the first thing we did. The best way to bring people together was what? Food.
Okay.
So we started feeding the homeless and the needy. The first time I did it, it was only 4 families that I fed. We're up now in 2024, so 2023, and the last couple of years before that, we've done over 5,000 people for Thanksgiving. We do it on the actual day. So food came first, then I added in the mentoring.
Okay, I got you. And I guess your Thanksgiving meal is separate from Serve the Needs Thanksgiving meal. They're in Clayton, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the same one, or y'all?
Not the same one.
Not the same. You're a separate thing. Okay.
Separate thing, yeah.
I know Serve the Need does one as well, which is great. You probably work with them. A great group of people there in Clayton as well. Oh, yeah. So it starts out with feeding, doing feeds for the homeless people.
Right.
Then what is the next thing that you start doing?
The biggest thing was the mentoring and then speaking for people, uniting people how to unite themselves with self.
Okay.
In other words, getting rid of the hate that's inside your heart. And the only way you can really respond to anybody with hate is you got to respond with love. But you can't do that if you don't love yourself.
Okay.
So the way what God gave me to teach was to teach our children how to love themselves completely.
Okay.
And mentoring has been the outfit for One Blood.
Okay.
That's the foundation of it.
All right. And so you do a lot of mentoring of youth. So explain to me how you find the youth, how many mentors you have. How does that go?
So as of right now, since it's been incorporated since 2020, I pushed everything out a year and a half ago, and I'm now full-time with the mentoring.
Okay.
So my mentees sometimes they come from the courts. A lot of them come from the churches or just in the community by itself.
Okay.
Since I still do football coaching at Corinth Holders, I get some of the people from out of that area too.
Okay.
I'm well known, thank God, for Archie Lodge area, Corinth Holders area, and then a little bit of the Clayton side that know who I am. Okay. And that's how we do the mentoring.
Okay. So how many mentors do y'all have?
It's just mentees.
Yeah. Okay. You're the only one doing
the mentor. Right.
You're the only mentor.
Right.
Okay. All right. So how many mentees can you work with at one time?
So when I do throughout the month, if I do group, I can do over 40 at one time in a group setting.
Okay.
Now, if I'm doing one-on-one, which I do a lot of one-on-one, like we have right now, about 15 that are one-on-one.
Okay.
Preferred group.
Okay. And so you charge for this? Is this all free to the parents? The schools pay? How does this work?
So everything is a charge. It's a 10-week program that I put them through.
Okay.
And it's a $50 fee per week. So in the hour, $50 per hour. The thing that we're working on now, especially with the tennis shoe drive, is to obtain scholarships. And then we take in donations as well. That covers that fee for that child, which is $500 for 10 weeks. That's how we are able to afford the office and able to afford them to be able to get mentored by me.
Okay. And can you come in at any point in the 10 weeks, or is it you start every quarter, you start a new group?
I start you where you are, like every quarter type style.
Okay.
So when they come in, say you brought your child in, and then all of a sudden you have that one child and I got 10 already, I'll still start your 10 weeks right there.
Okay.
And we go from there. Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't just start 4 times a year. It can start any week.
Any week of the year.
Okay. Is it a series of rotating, I don't know, not really lectures, but I mean lessons? And so once you've gone through the 10 lessons, you've graduated?
You've graduated, yes.
Right. So, the lessons are, right. Once you've been through all 10 lessons, you graduate, and you can start at any point, whether you're on lesson 5 or lesson 6, as you're going through the teaching.
Yes. You can start in that. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's you. So my focus is when that child comes in, I'm focused on that one child. It doesn't have nothing to do with anybody else. So when that lesson starts, 90% of the parents never leave. So I'm consistently mentoring. They just, when they get through the 10-week program, they have that foundation. Now they just come back to hang with Coach Fred.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how it's been for the last 4 years.
Right. So, but that is, I mean, we got two different types of mentoring going on here. We got 40 people in the room and we got one-on-one. So how does the one-on-one mentoring work?
So the one-on-one is the norm. That's when they normally come in. It's me and that child, we're one-on-one.
Okay.
Now when I do group, I go to the actual school. Like not Cooper, but Corinth Holders or Corinth Elementary or Archer Large Middle School.
Yep.
I will mentor that one group. And that's just for a few hours of that day. And that's how that works. And then we'll set it up for the same time next week. I go in for a couple hours that day. And I take that whole group through the same 10-week program.
Okay. At the school?
At the school. Right?
Oh, okay.
We'll do it that way. That's easier I meet at the Corinth Holders Fire Department. I meet kids there as well. And I take them through a group. I take them through a 10-week as a group. Now, when you come in for that part, you have to start that as it goes.
As it goes,
right.
Okay.
That is straight quarterly. I
can't
right. Let you jump in.
No, that's what I was asking. Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
My apologies.
Okay, no, that's good. I just want to make sure parents understand because, I mean, there are a lot of parents who need what you're doing.
Right.
So when you're doing the group stuff at the school, is that free to the student?
That is free. It's free. Well, scholarship-wise, it's free to the student. But the service. My service is not free.
Okay, the school system, I guess.
We're not. No, I am a faith-based, so school system really don't allow me to push that out from that point.
No, I understand that.
So I go in as Coach Fred. Why?
Okay.
Because most people know me as Coach Fred.
Okay, right. And you're mentoring the students there.
Right.
But those students don't have to pay anything, do they?
They don't have to pay anything then, no.
Okay, all right.
So what the organization does, that's why we continue doing the
fundraising.
The fundraising. So we do the plate sale every last Friday at the end of the month in downtown Clayton. We have a tennis shoe drive-in where you turn your tennis shoes into us and we send the tennis shoes back off. They reimburse us for that. So that does is get them scholarships going so we can hand that to that child and say, hey, you got a $500 scholarship to be coached by Coach Fred, mentored by Coach Fred.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
How that works.
Okay.
It keeps especially lower income families who can't afford it, it's a huge help for them.
Right. So how often are you working with the groups in the schools?
I have not done since we've been out of summertime. So that normally I do it at the fire department.
Okay.
That's my main spot. So that would be, it's almost like a quarter basis. So I start in January, give you 10 weeks.
Okay.
Take a month, spend with just the individuals, and then we go from there and do another month.
Okay.
So it's more roughly 3 to 4 times a year.
Okay.
And you just have to get in there.
Okay.
Now, I am on the verge of bringing in volunteer mentors.
Right.
But me personally, I like to work with the volunteer for at least 6 months before I say, hey, you can mentor on your own under one blood.
Okay.
It's a trust factor.
Right.
Have family law questions? Need guidance to navigate legal challenges? The compassionate team at Breeden Law Office is here to help. Visit us at www.breedenfirm.com for practical advice, resources, or to book a consultation. Remember, when life gets messy, you don't have to face it alone.
Well, one of the other things One Blood does is it offers community service opportunities for juveniles that are in the court system.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and how does that work?
So when the courts send a juvenile to my direction for community service, great. They come in and need 10, 15, 75 hours. The things that I have a few connections with people who cut grass. So I can send them out with them, get a few hours. I have a catering company that I deal with, send them out with them to get a few hours. Me personally, what we do, me and my brother, we'll help the people who are like elderly move to a different home. When they buy a new house or they need to move, period, no charge, need the deck to be rebuilt. We go to fix their deck, stuff like that. I bring those youth in with me to help build or move one individual to the next.
Okay. So how many youth are y'all working with now through the court system, through their community service?
I don't have no youth in the community service. I mean, from courts right now.
None for the right now. But you do that service.
I do that service.
So the court counselors will call you and say, hey, we've got a young man. Mm-hmm. Can you get him to do something so we can get these hours and teach him a little bit?
We can do that.
Okay, well that's great. I thought that's I used to represent juveniles in Johnston County many years ago, and we always struggled to find community service outlets for the juveniles.
Right.
We also struggled to find them for the adults, but we really struggled to find them for the juveniles. But what we did was we would often find people that were mowing grass, fixing decks, cleaning up yards for elderly, and I think the kids got a lot of value out of that. You know what I mean? Because most all of them are good kids and they want to help. And this is something they can do to help and take pride in.
Yep. Adding value is the key. Adding value. You said the key word. If I can add some value to you, you're good. And some self-structure, self-discipline. You have those, you can make it in life. And most of them are very good. Most at-risk youth they're not bad kids. They're bored. They are bored and they don't know what to do with their time because they haven't been properly raised or trained. So they come to I'm military structured. So when you come to me and you first meet me, you're probably not going to like me because out the gate, I'm on your hind part right then. So I'm very structured from day one. I do the same thing we did in the military for our first 2 weeks when we go on basic training. I couldn't stand none of the dress sergeants. But after those 2 weeks, everything works out. Why? Because they took everything that was negative out and started planting back the good seeds. Same concept I use with all our kids. First 2 weeks, I give them pure, just nothing but Coach Fred. It is nothing what they say is good. It's just Coach Fred. Got to give you the business. I got to empty out, pull all the negative out. And then so I can enter back something that's good for you to use, some value.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what else are you doing with the homeless? I know that's a big part of what you're doing. You do the meal on Thanksgiving. What else are you doing with the homeless?
That is the main thing. And the biggest part is I love ministering to the homeless. When we do Thanksgiving, we will actually bring them into the church. And prayerfully, COVID stopped that. So when we went pre-COVID, we was able to bring them in and actually minister to them and feed them and give them a good meal. We're adding in, starting a coat drive. I don't think that's going to start this year. Possibly could. We got to figure out how it works. But we're going to add that in with the homeless and the needed too. But we feed them through the boxes that you see around town as well.
Okay.
And if we get chances to help them get back on their feet, then I give them resources, places that they can go that can help them.
Okay.
Personally, no, I cannot financially help them homeless, but I can guide them in the right direction.
Right. Okay. You also do inclusion counseling and advocacy. I don't exactly know what that is, so I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
I saw it on your website.
Yeah. So that's on the life coach side of Coach Fred.
Okay.
So I'm a certified life coach and certified youth mentor. That's going to be coming off of One Blood side. Everything was in the same entity. So now we're separating Coach Fred from One Blood. So it'd be two different entities.
Okay.
But yes, I don't call it counseling. I get in trouble. You know my background in psychology, but
right.
I'm not counseling anyone, but I am coaching people. Yes.
Okay, I got you. So what is involved in coaching, inclusion coaching?
So with these, let's say like a marriage coupling, right? So instead of them going to a marriage counselor, they come to marriage coaching.
Okay.
And that's what I include with that. I
push
them out from that point instead of them going to, counseling deals with the past and coaching deals with the future. So I'm able with a psychology degree to actually pull out some of the past so we can go forward, but prevent them from redoing what they did in the past.
Okay.
To get to that point with the life coaching.
Okay. Another thing the website talks about is bullying victim services.
Yeah.
What is that?
So what we've been doing lately is the kids that are being bullied, it's anonymous. They come in and they can talk to me. And what we do is provide a way for them not to feel like they're bullied anymore. So I coach them out of that vibe and out of that feeling.
Okay.
And I'll actually go to the schools of where they are and where they're being bullied. And I'll help the parents talk to the staff, talk to the other parents, give them somebody. In other words, you're being a backbone.
Okay.
For people who don't really have a backbone.
Okay.
But you be a back like you. You're
okay.
a lawyer. So you're the backbone for people who don't have that voice and able to stand up and talk.
Okay.
That's what I do with the bullying.
So you help the children and the parents, try to help the children overcome the bullying, help the parents get some advocacy with the schools to see if the schools will help the parent
for the child,
help the child, right? And I guess at least in that area, all the principals and guidance counselors, a lot of them.
Yeah.
You're really involved in the community.
Right.
Well, that's great. That's great. So, what's the next step for One Blood?
So now we want to push the 10,000 plates out for Thanksgiving. So the biggest step that we're trying to do and we're hoping we can implement soon is actually really getting our own building so we can do something more great and more better for our youth.
Okay.
And meaning that we can actually bring them in on a consistent basis, not just sporadically.
Right.
We can bring them in on a consistent basis.
Right. And your office is currently in the same building as Chef Fella's on Main Street in Clayton. Between the post office and Manning's. Yes. Right there on Main Street. Chef Fella's is great. Yes. That is the best catering. That lady is unbelievable cook. Yes. I know she's on your board. Right. Gabrielle Terry, I think is her name, right?
Yeah, Gabrielle Woodson.
Oh yeah, so she's great, and I would highly recommend Chef Fella's for anything. It is so good, whatever they do. If my office was in that building, I would be even bigger than I already am, and I'm plenty big enough. But anyway, so cool. So how can people reach out to you and One Blood and get involved?
They can call 919-944-1800, and that's the office number. They can set up a time to talk with me.
All right, and what is the website?
Website is obmou.com, which is One Blood Movement of Unity.com. Really simple. OBMOU.
Okay. And your email address is Fred
at OBMOU.
MMOU.com. All right. The last question we ask everybody on this podcast is, what do you love most about Johnston County?
Johnston County has a lot of great pockets, a lot of great love. A lot of people doing a lot of different things in Johnston County that people don't know about. So the biggest thing I want to do with that is unite those pockets. That's the beauty, because Johnston County is not by itself. People really, they're not educated enough to know everything about Johnston County. So we have a lot of love that's sitting right in the heart of Johnston County. And it's moving, but all of us don't know each other. So hopefully with you and what you're doing with the podcast and everything, we can start figuring out who these people are that are doing great things. And then we can start uniting and putting together.
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And I know you've already done a lot of that. And I know you're friends with Addie Rawls and the former judge and everything she's done for back school youth explosion and through the New Generation Church and all of that. And there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things in Johnston County. And you should reach out if you want to get involved in helping youth, or if you want to even just donate so that you can get scholarships to meet with Coach Fred. You can just go to his website and there's a donate button right there. He's got a list of sponsors, Hometown Realty's on there. I mean, there's a ton of businesses that Golden Corral. These are all good businesses that are all about supporting the youth here in Johnston County, giving to Coach Fred and his team and his board of directors so that they can give back to the youth in this community and see if we can't redirect some youth that might be starting to go a little bit astray, and starting to give them stuff to do as well. I think he's right about that at their board, and I really appreciate him coming on and being here today. Like we said before, please like, follow, subscribe to this podcast wherever you're seeing it. Also, give us a 5-star review down below. Tell us what you like or dislike. If you have any questions for Coach Fred, you'd like us to get those to us, you can reach out to him on his website, or you can reach out to us here at the Best of Johnston County. We'll get those to Coach Fred. Be sure to share this podcast wherever with your friends and family. Also, tag us in your Instagram stories, Best of Johnston County. That will help raise our visibility, and more people will know about this podcast, Coach Fred, and all the great things he's doing. Until next time, I'm your host, Jonathan Breeden.
That's the end of today's episode of Best of Johnston County, a show brought to you by the trusted team at Breeden Law Office. We thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to sharing more interesting facets of this community next week. Every story, every viewpoint adds another thread to the rich tapestry of Johnston County. If the legal aspects highlighted raise some questions, help is just around the corner at www.breedenfirm.com.